Good morning. It's shaping up to be a beautiful June morning day here. And need to kind of clarify something. And it's going to touch into politics. Because we've got, I've gone down the road that everyone was bamboozled by the Republicans' choice of candidates in Trump. Okay? That there's a lot more there than what is being said. Health-wise, person-wise, but that obviously they've built this juggernaut around him that they can do anything they want and let the Constitution, let the process prove them wrong later on. But once it's done, it's done. Okay. But I've got another thing on this, and that is there was something that they were talking about on the news with the phrase Trump trying to overturn, or when he had overturned, attempted to overturn the election, okay, in 2020. I'm just using that phrase because that's what he tried to do. But let's be clear on this. Be very clear on this. He tried to overturn the election. Okay? In any other terminology, if you didn't like the results, okay, then you kind of go through the logical process, or however, whatever the situation is. In this case, you go at it again, like what he had done. But his immediate push to change is what actually really came into question because of January 6th. Okay? Your attempt to change or overturn the election, just because you don't like the results, doesn't mean that they're wrong. Doesn't mean that they're fake. They do in his mind. They do in President Trump's mind. Anything that he sees that doesn't go his way, like a spoiled child, it's wrong. It's fake. It's fixed. It's a fraud. It's exactly like a spoiled child trying to get his way. Let's be clear on that. Okay? And there's so many examples. I can throw out a couple of them. No different than Giuliani calling election workers crack whores or whatever the hell he was doing. That they were like drug dealers passing vials. He knew by saying that who he was talking to. He was talking to people that are so dialed in that are against drugs, and chances are against blacks, that they would latch on to that when it was not what was going on. It was anything but the truth. Okay? When President Trump turns around and says fake news, simply because, you have hardworking journalists that turn around and they'll nail a story down. But if he doesn't like it, it's fake news. once again, I'll say this. Just because a person does not like something, who is he to sit there and call it out as fake news? Except for someone who is so rich that has a megaphone known as social media. He's got a blog that he just sits there and blows filth out all the time. What's fake is a lot of the stuff that he says. And it's proven that it can be fake. Okay? But for some reason, no one gets to question that. Because we don't have a big enough megaphone. Like a spoiled child. Like a spoiled child. This is our president. Just because. I could, that's fine. If someone wants to turn around and call it and say, that this is wrong or this is fake, that's fine. Okay. Now the burden of proof doesn't come onto me to prove that I'm right. You need to prove to me that I'm wrong. Okay? And that is what happened following the election then. And as time goes on, their MO is to see how far, if they can get it far enough away from that timeline that it becomes old history, that it won't matter anymore. Well, in the minds of those that knew what was going down at the time, it mattered. It mattered a lot. Okay? He had the chance. He had the chance to prove himself in a court of law 63 times. Okay? And each time they heard. They didn't just bring him in a courtroom and then they heard the argument. They heard. But if they're bringing in the same old information that was looked over the first couple times and proven to be totally false, then it's false. But they kept hammering on the door and kept hammering on the door and hammering on the door. And pretty soon, when they realized it wasn't working, they decided to hold an insurrection. Just because you don't like the results, just because you don't like the fact that it didn't go your way, you can call it fake all you want. That used to be the old standard. Okay, with this president, it's no longer that standard. We've given in to a child-like, spoiled, rotten brat who has worn the parent down. And that's exactly what he's trying to do. Still, to this day, he's trying to wear down the Constitution. Or the cabinet that's around him. Because I firmly believe there's a disconnect somewhere in there. It's shown its ugly head many times before. And there's something just totally off about being the allegiance that they show and unless he's truly dying, to sit there and give him praise and to give him adoration and to give him such accolades on camera in front of his face on a boardroom is anything but American. It's creepy, plain and simple. But that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother time. I wish you nothing but love. I hope you have a great day. Have a good one.